Wow.
Well, I've been waiting for this for months. Everybody meet Nadeem Moiz. And
Morning, everyone.
he is the
Great to be here.
CEO of Revance, those of you who don't know that. And in the next 20 minutes or so, you're going to get to know Nadeem a little bit better. He was also on the Technology of Beauty, my podcast, and I would encourage you to check that out. So Nadeem, tell us a little bit, first of all, about yourself. What were you doing before you became the CEO of Revance? Give us a little insight.
Well, Grant, it's just an honor to be here with you today at this great session, and happy to give some background. I joined Crown Labs about 5 years ago as Chief Operating Officer and CFO of Crown Labs, and last year, after the purchase of Revance, I stepped into the CEO role. Over the last 20 years, prior to joining Crown, I've been working on growing companies and scaling them in different verticals. This was my fifth business that I jumped into. And I've worked in high growth companies that require a lot of restructuring and just rapid growth. I've taken companies public. I've gone through private equity to private equity sales, sort of all the combinations you can imagine. I started my career in industrials. I think I covered that in your podcast as well. Started with Mercedes in Stuttgart, Germany, and a bunch of other places in the world. But really an industrial automotive guy at heart. So here I am in aesthetics. What a perfect combination.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the Revance platform.
Yeah.
Those who don't know about the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we're super excited about the Revance platform. It is one of the unique platforms in the space. We have been working on this platform for about 5 years. It is again, it's unique. It transcends both aesthetics and skincare. There aren't many companies in the space that sort of do that. We have 13 brands. We're vertically integrated. The heart of the company is really galvanized around science-based innovation. We take a lot of pride in delivering products and services that are really centered around science and research. Today we have, again, we're just pleased and extremely excited to have this portfolio of 13 brands that are doing extremely well. They're differentiated. And what we believe is this journey of skin health for life. And so with our platform and our 13 brands, you have an ability to go from highly regulated FDA products all the way to the beauty aisle, right? So all the way from aesthetics, all the way to the beauty aisle, we allow you, our portfolio allows you to do that. So again, it's a fast growing platform that we've built with just amazing 13 brands, transcending both aesthetics and skincare. Predominantly US today, with aspirations to grow very quickly in the international markets.
So you had the challenge of integrating Crown with Revance, and then you put it all together under the name Revance. How's that integration going? Two totally different companies.
Yeah. Look, great question. So last year, we purchased Revance last year as we came in from Crown. In first quarter of last year, a lot of focus was on the integration last year. We had almost like an 18-month plan, which we delivered in about 9 months. So my goal was to get that done as fast as possible. Having done this a few times of increased complexity, you have to go through that very quickly. So we did that very quickly. By fourth quarter, we were done. And since then, we have been extremely focused on the commercial acceleration. And it's all sort of working out very nicely. But the integration's behind us. That was last year. The entire focus is on just real growth at this point. So super excited.
And how's it going for you?
Yeah.
If you can share that with us. I know you're privately held. And there's two board members right here.
I know there's two board members.
There. But
I know.
Can you give us a little look at how that integration's going commercially?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, it was a big combination. On the integration, we took, again, we'll share some snippets of information. Over 100 million of cost out in about 9 months, and so that was huge. Look, the growth has been exceptionally well. The thesis is playing out like we thought it would. We've collected a curated set of assets that are differentiated based on science, and we knew that going in. Daxxify is just doing amazing. Last year, the company grew in excess of 20% top line. EBITDA was exceptionally well. Cash flow, all that was just exceptionally well. The brands are doing significantly better than category growth. Our target typically is 2x category growth, and last year we were sort of in that 2 to 3 times category growth. Daxxify and SkinPen, which is our other brand, and Panoxyl on the skincare side, are behaving at almost 3 to 4 times category growth. So exceptionally well, and what we really needed was a bit of attention and sort of recorrecting the marketing narrative, which we did last year, and things are taking off very nicely for us.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, for a car guy, here you are, an aesthetics company. Tell me, you've been doing this for a few months now. What do you see the future of aesthetics?
Yeah.
Because you're relatively new.
Yeah.
You know, we've been hanging around. I've been in this business for over 30 years.
I know. Yeah. You probably.
Tell me what aesthetics looks like to you, the future.
Yeah. No, it's a great question. Look, you probably will forget more than I'll ever learn. But here's what I would boil it down to. There's a lot of information out there, future of aesthetics, and a lot of articles. But here's, I think, what I would boil it down to. These probably the 4 that come to mind. Number 1, there's clear conversion of functional health and aesthetics health. That's absolutely clear. Okay, this is post GLP treatments. This is sort of, and that's actually driving a lot of it. And so you definitely see that, and you see that in the practices. You see that in the med spas where they're offering sort of combined therapies and sort of working off the GLP post GLP sort of body changes, right? So that's number 1, absolutely clear. The second, I would say over the next 5 years that will continue to sort of propel and advance is regenerative, okay? And there's all kinds of shades coming there. Obviously, exosomes, PRP, we have our SkinPen. That trend will continue over the next 5 years. We think that's going to further accelerate. The third, I would say, is, look, there's a lot of chatter about AI, and, every day I read like at least, 2 or 3 articles that are about, AI is this, and, there's all these different tools that are coming in, fundamentally changing how we live, behave, and how we socially interact. I will tell you, my number 3 is the importance of practitioners will continue to get accentuated, okay? I think the consumer is getting more nuanced in terms of what they want. They're studying a lot. They're researching a lot. The research is getting better. So as they come into the practice, the importance of the practitioner will continue to get even more important, right? So further education, more training is what I see. So the third point is around the practitioner being absolutely pivotal to this future of aesthetics, okay? So they're super important. And the fourth is more on sort of the skincare side. I think there's a continued convergence of wellness and beauty. So it's sort of slightly coming out of aesthetics, but as you think about, for instance, a good example is Panoxyl, which is a acne brand that we have, which is growing extremely well. When you look in that category, there is this convergence of, that's sort of a wellness product, but it's also offering things like moisturizers and SPF, and all that is converging very quickly on the sort of the derm skincare side as you look at retail and CPG side. So I think that's the fourth, is this convergence of wellness and beauty. I think we'll continue to see that over the next 4 years.
Okay, of those 4, how does Revance fit in?
Tell me how.
Now, you're running Revance. I agree with those 4. I'm not sure I put them in that order.
Okay.
But I'm happy number 3 is on your top 4.
Yeah.
But how does Revance relate to those 4?
Yeah, look, that's a great question. So again, we've built this platform having a deep understanding of what these trends were. And so we're super excited about the future because we believe Revance is extremely well positioned to really take advantage of these trends that are appearing. So the first one I talked about was this convergence of functional health and aesthetics health. We have this amazing portfolio on the aesthetic side, Daxxify, and RHA filler by Teoxane. These are like the perfect combination for patients looking for post-GLP-1 treatments. We're seeing that, and we are spending a lot of time with practices and practitioners sort of like working through what's the right protocol and how do you do that. So that one, we believe we're absolutely right in the dead center of it. And as you know, Daxxify is a differentiated product, fast, longer lasting product. So it works extremely well. And we just launched the mid-face for RHA, which is designed targeting exactly dynamic volume. Mid-face launch for RHA is exactly for GLP, post-GLP-1 sort of treatment. So I think from the number one, we're right there. Differentiated premium products that are just based in science. The second one on regenerative, again, we're right in the middle of it. SkinPen is our microneedling device. It's the first FDA-approved microneedling device. Last year, it grew almost 40%. Category is growing about 20% in regenerative. So that is sort of the ecosystem we're building around with regenerative. So it's SkinPen and pairings with PRP, which is also regenerative. We're market leader in PRP. And then we have this just amazing pipeline of new product development that's coming next year, early next year, that will build on that regenerative ecosystem. So I think on that trend, Revance is going to be at the forefront of advancing science, innovation, and products for the practitioners. The third one is practitioners. Look, I think that can sometimes be overlooked by companies. For us, that is pivotal. So we're spending a significant amount of time in developing education curriculums, training them. We're taking the training to the practitioners. We're doing, last year we trained about 18,000 practitioners. 15,000 were in different cities and remote bases, and then the other 3,000 were in our beautiful office in Nashville. We're building another office in SoCal later this year specifically for the purpose of training, and then we have more coming down the pipeline over the next couple of years, all designed for education training for the practitioner. So that we believe that's going to be pivotal. And the fourth one is around this intersection of wellness and beauty. Again, Panoxyl, Blue Lizard, our number one mineral sunscreen, and Stravectin, all those are sort of converging. So if you have an acne product, it's also giving you moisturizer. If you have a longevity product, it's giving you some SPF. So all that is converging. So we have quite a few new product development products coming to the market over the next 2 years that will do exactly that, this intersection of wellness and beauty. I think that's going to continue.
Thank you. You've mentioned the word Daxi a few times, and some of the people in this audience have no idea what you're talking about. So Daxxify, and you mentioned SkinPen. So I'd like you to spend a few moments to tell us, you've talked about the word differentiated, that Daxi's differentiated. First of all, we know Daxxify is a toxin, a neurotoxin, and we know the 800-pound gorilla in the room, the first neurotoxin, begins with a B. And but would you tell everybody a little bit about Daxi or Daxxify, and then when you're done with that, tell us a little bit about SkinPen, because many people in the audience here have never heard of or seen a SkinPen.
Okay, no, that's great. I'm glad you asked me that. Happy to talk about Daxxify. So Daxxify is the first and the only differentiated neuromodulator in the market with a peptide formulation. Our chief science officer is here, Connor Gallagher. He's sitting I think he's going to be in a panel later on. I would encourage you guys to grab Connor when you get an opportunity, and he can tell you all about the science. I'll stay away from the science, but he'll tell you all about the science. But look, it's the first neuromodulator in the market that's differentiated. The market hasn't seen anything in a long time. As you know, the big B has been around for a long time. Fast-acting, longer duration. It's got the peptide, as I mentioned, which has the peptide glow. We've got some incredible studies on the glow. It is absolutely differentiated from that perspective. Their results are just off the charts. We have indications both on the aesthetic side and the therapeutic side. We are continuing to invest behind this brand to get additional indications. So the market receptivity has been incredible. And what we're finding is, and this is what the practitioners are telling us, once they put a patient on Daxxify, they're not coming back to anything else. They're going to stick with Daxxify. So the receptivity has been just incredible, and it's very sticky. So we're super excited about that. Skin pen, this is right in the heart of regenerative. We're the first FDA-approved microneedling device. There's quite a few other devices. Today, we're the market leader. Again, growing at almost 2x category growth. And what makes the microneedling device, our skin pen, very different is not only is it giving you the safety and efficacy, but it's also designed for ease of use for the practitioner. We just launched our updated version. This is our 4th iteration of microneedling device in the market. It has RFID chip. It's got a nice LCD display, and we'll continue to invest behind it. It's safe, single use, all those kinds of things. We designed it for the ease of practitioners. Look, microneedling is a great procedure. It's an entry-level procedure. If you're going to the practice, as you're thinking about building your practice, that's a good procedure to offer. It is going to stimulate collagen and elastin growth. And along with the skin pen franchise, we're building pairing opportunities with post-procedure, pre-procedure treatment that it's really going to elevate the patient experience and recovery and ultimately just be very efficacious. So it's an excellent and again, entry-level procedure for someone that's just stepping into aesthetics to experience what, with some very quick procedure, you can have just fantastic results. It has an indication for acne scars, FDA, and also for fine lines and wrinkles. So.
Okay, so clearly it's not a home use product, so it's in office. Could you comment on anesthesia, if any, and recovery?
Yeah. So it was slight numbing on the face prior to the procedure. Yeah, topical. I think that's pretty much what we see the practices do. And the downtime it's extremely low. You get the procedure done, and you're out on the street the same day. Maybe a little bit of redness that you need to sort of watch out for, but it's a very quick procedure with low downtime. So which patients love, right? And what we're finding is the practitioners are sort of combining the procedures, and that's where we, again, going back to the pivotal importance of practitioners, and people are coming up with very nuanced reasons. Hey, we need these treatments done, and they're well educated. So you're combining skin pen with some other topical, or they may get a toxin, a filler along with it, and so it's this combination that's happening very, very quickly.
Okay, thank you. Now, what are you most excited about? We talked a little bit about what you saw in the future, but right now, what keeps you awake at night besides running the company? But what's your pivotal excitement point or points?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, with respect to Revance, we're super excited about our kind of what we've been able to do in the U.S. Extremely rapid growth. Obviously, restructuring integration was done way behind. It's in the rearview mirror from last year. And we're excited about what we can do with Daxxify, the inbounds and the level of excitement we're getting from outside the U.S. on Daxxify is huge. We just came back from China about a week ago, and we launched Daxxify with a partner in China with Fosun Pharma. They're huge, and the receptivity in China is is just massive. Again, it's a differentiation. And again, in that market, there's already the Big B and all these other products are there, including Chinese products. But Daxxify is so differentiated that it's just they're super excited about being able to bring it. So we're excited about the international growth for Daxxify. We're super excited about our microneedling growth in the international markets. We're just getting it registered in like 45 countries. And then the rest of the portfolio, it's just at the early innings of growth. And so again, the platform has been built. We're starting to see the growth trajectory now. And when we look at the potential growth in all our brands, in particular, SkinPen, Daxxify, Panoxyl on the acne, and Blue Lizard, which is we didn't talk a lot about it, that's our mineral sunscreen. It's the fastest growing. It is the #1 mineral sunscreen in the U.S., pediatrician recommended, and the fastest growing mineral sunscreen. So there's a huge opportunity there to expand the portfolio size. So look, sitting here, it's a sort of an envious position to be in because we sort of went through the hard stuff last year. And now that we've got the platform built and sort of propelling the commercial growth, it's a big question we have is where are we going to allocate the capital? Like that's a tough question to have. It's a good problem to have, but we spend a lot of time.
Here, right in the audience, right there, it might have an opinion.
I know. I'm gonna.
Board members are
I know I'm going to squeeze in for more money later on. So didn't know that yet, but that's my lunch meeting with them.
I have another question for you. You're talking about expanding the products and
Yeah.
expanding the line and so forth.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that I have is, do you have any appetite for home care products or home care?
Yeah.
Like we talk about microneedling, you talk
Yeah.
about SkinPen. It seems a natural might be an acquisition of something where a patient can
Yeah.
actually do it in the privacy of their own home.
Yeah. No, it's a great question. Look, we spend a lot of time thinking about that. Where do you go? Do you go to sort of DIY, right? Like do it yourself, right? So do you jump into that? And you sort of have to go back to the core values of the company. What are you sort of trying to do? And science-based innovation, high level of safety and efficacy, and sort of very medical grade kinds of products and services. When you start taking it through that lens, oftentimes the take-it-home device or at-home treatment sort of fall out of that funnel. Oftentimes, not that you never say never, but we haven't found anything yet that we felt like, okay, it's meeting the standards that we're trying to drive to, which is this high level of safety and efficacy and just excellent outcomes for patients. Oftentimes what you find is the take-home devices are a little bit cheaper than medical grade, and the consumers are treating themselves, and they can end up with some adverse reactions. And how do you really manage through that? Again, our thesis is the practitioner is pivotal, and if you really want excellent outcomes, then really go into a derm and sort of licensed practitioners that are well trained to do the procedures like you. So,
Or a plastic surgeon.
or a plastic surgeon.
Well, thank you very much. A couple things. First of all, thank you very much for supporting this meeting. Revance has been a huge supporter, and we appreciate it very much. And we're going to have Connor, your Chief Medical Officer, up here a little bit later. And this evening, at the very end of the show, you're sponsoring our cocktail hour. And I encourage everybody to come and speak to Nadeem if you don't have a chance.
Yeah,
But
please. Everyone's invited to the cocktail hours. If you don't have that information, I'm sure someone in our team over there, maybe Aaron, can help us.
And you have QR codes at your desk there, and you can scan that, and it'll give you not only the program, but some information about Nadeem's cocktail hour.
Yeah. Grant, thank you so much. This is such a
My
pleasure.
pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.